Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. As today, I think we're pretty much done with the prayer hall. I went ahead and cleared the traps that let us open this door here, which leads back out the way we came in. And while we will be heading back that way momentarily, along the catwalk back towards the main generator sanctuary, we've actually also got this. An alternate exit, which seems to lead directly to Urlon the Cruel, who of course we don't actually want to confront just yet. Not while we've still got an entire unexplored area. But we'll at least poke our head in. Grab any unattended loot.
This explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
Omnispecs. Whenever the wearer targets 3 or more enemies with one attack, those enemies suffer armor reduction, scaling off intelligence. No big deal. Though I will say, I guess I shouldn't just dismiss things so quickly now, because we are now also operating with the new 1.5 patch, which did heavily rebalance a lot of things. I skimmed our current builds. We seem to be mostly okay, so I'm going to kind of see if we can just hopefully power through. You know, without the hassle of having to respec our entire party. But I guess we'll see. I'm sure we've still got a fight or two around here somewhere. That'll be a good test case. Massive claw marks are visible on the heavy bars. Aw, look at the cute little forge fiends. So sleepy. But yeah, hopefully we have a filler fight or two ahead of us. Those will make good test cases for our current builds.
Corruption will melt before my wrath.
Okay, you know what, whatever. Not even sure where that one triggered, but as long as we didn't actually take damage, I'm fine. We don't need the XP. And that does indeed lead to Urlon the Cruel, the drill that he was messing with when we first came in. So yes, let's backtrack. Go check out the main generator sanctuary. Oh, hello. Invincible Onslaught Armor. How in the world did we miss that? Actually, you know what? This might be something new that was added by the new 1.5 patch. Wearer gains Charge and Invincible Onslaught. Also enhances damage on charge. Plus 15 strength. Oh man, that actually sounds halfway decent. Which is a bit of a shame, because, like, I've been so unimpressed with all the other power armor we've encountered that I didn't bother picking up proficiency with Abby or Pask, the two main characters who would potentially get some use out of this thing. Though to be fair, I think it would actually be a bit of a step down for Abby, at least. Let's have a quick peek. Oh, yeah. At least on the armor side of things. 5% on armor. A whopping 12 on deflection. This is interesting, though, because it definitely has the edge on offense. Oh, weird. Invincible Onslaught, definitely not what I was expecting. It's more of, like, I guess, a secondary watered-down charge. Oh my goodness, though. Look at that charge damage bonus. And then for Pask. I mean, definitely a lot more competitive. And honestly, pretty close on Heinrich's. Like, just slightly lower on armor, but higher on deflection. And with the extra charge bonus. Though sadly, his charge damage bonus is nowhere near what we were seeing on Abby. Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and swap that out. Kind of liked how the other one looked better, but, you know, we'll give it a shot.
Always keep your eye on the price.
I am tempted, though, to respec Pask just so he can use power armor. Oh, it's just such a hassle at level 55.
Just as I planned.
I'll think on it. And we've got hostiles next room over just through this door. Which would probably explain why this looks like... Yes, a secret door. Big old blank wall, pretty obvious. The cogitator screen flickers, as if the system is suffering a power failure. You reach out and touch the control panel, but quickly jerk your hand back. The device is coated in some sticky substance. Oh, well, yeah, the locals do love their technology. No, it's not that. It's just scrap code again. Which you could collect if you want more scrap code for some reason. I mean, sure, why not? We're here. Let's have a look. The cogitator's case is covered with scratch symbols and signs thickly smeared into a pungent, oily mass. You spot tiny bubbles emerging from the gleaming metal. It is almost as if the malodorous slime is seeping from these scratches, like sweat oozes from pores on human skin. Not only do you fail to examine the log, even accessing it is quite an ordeal. Any data projected to the blinking screen blurs and fades, like images on melting film. The data crypt slots are occupied. 2 of them appear to be melted beyond repair, but you might extract the 3rd one without incurring data loss, if you successfully deactivate the logical network of the machine itself. You spend a lot of time trying to establish a connection between the countless switches and reels on the control panel and the twisted symbols floating on the glitchy screen. At last, you manage to complete the logical network, tame the rampaging system, and force it to disengage the data crypt. At the same moment, the cogitator releases a data stick previously hidden beneath a protective panel, and the device drops to the floor right in front of you. It looks like a logic key, used to access additional cogitator reserves. It may fit other systems in this part of the planet. Hey, bonus! Though it does seem to be something we already had, but perhaps we'll need 2? And this is very notably a different item from the one we got from the other cogitator. That was a scratched data crypt, which does seem to imply that there's, in theory, some benefit to having both. As for these guys, looks like a pretty straightforward fight. A bit heavy on servitors, perhaps. But let's push through here. See where that puts us. Oh, right next to it. We can already see the stairs. But with access to a voltage control panel. Wasn't too impressed with the steam, but let's see if this does us a bit better.
But I will grant none.
Yeah, not exactly a huge dent, but I guess we'll take it. Either way, we're in it. And those are notably volatile servitors, so they'll just try to run up to us and explode. We'll need to keep that in mind. But hey, nice filler fight. Good time to see if our builds are still viable. And not necessarily like min-max optimized, more just, can it reasonably get us to the end of the game? You know, aside from Kibs, perhaps, I never really went too far down the min-max rabbit hole. I guess you could argue Abby. He is about as tanky as it gets. Oof, kind of cramped quarters here. Oh, you know what? Let's tuck Heinrichs out here. Create a secondary stopgap whilst Abby keeps the guys in center busy. Alright, let's generate some buzz. Pass up first. Let's clear this one.
Exploiters know one route. Forward.
Target out. With Banishment still on tap, so let's see what we can do with that. Apparently not much. No line of sight. Which does make that power armor a bit more appealing. The extra charge attack would have allowed Pask to reposition. Cast up. Let's get Abby set. Gotta make sure we lock down and or eliminate all these guys near center. Keep them off, well, mostly just Val. I was gonna say our squishier backliners, but at this point it really is just him. Nice. Val knocked it prone. Volatile out.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Let's have Abby hit these guys. Don't have to worry about the combat servitor now that it's prone. Ulfar. Let's get you out of here.
None can do this better than a warrior of the Allfather.
Suppressing fire. Peels off most of its defenses. Makes it easier to finish.
Wolves red.
Really should have switched back to the flamer for that last shot. Volatile. Yeah, there it goes. Oof, that hurt. Oh wow, that hurt too. Right, since Heinrichs hasn't really gotten his warm-up round yet. But we can fix that now.
Let's see to it. For the throne's glory.
You know what I could do? If we keep Heinrichs in our active party as our 6th, I could toss the commander's chrono to Abby. Then he'd always go first alongside Cass and Pask.
I won't object to it.
Which would free up Cass to set up Heinrichs. Though I suppose, well, Heinrichs does get a discount on biopowers on round 1. Cass could tag him in, he could do near full buffs. Get himself engaged. And unlike Abby, he does not need to have counter-strike stance active to counterattack. It actually comes from his boots, I think. He has the fencing boots.
I'll make it happen.
I suppose the question being whether we want to commit to having Heinrichs with the party long-term. Which I'm not necessarily adverse to, because, you know, he has grown on me, and I do feel like narratively he's apt to have a lot more interactions as we get towards the inevitable end game where we of course find out that Calcazar was the real villain all along, the mastermind pulling all the strings that caused all the problems. I mean, we already know he was in deep with the Drukhari. That aside, I do feel like Inquisitors turning out to be corrupt is a pretty stereotypical trope for 40k. I think I might have genuinely been more surprised if it turned out Calcazar were completely on the up and up. Which will make Dark Heresy interesting.
An exemplary strike.
Since that's a game where you're not a rogue trader who has wider latitude, you're just straight up part of the Inquisition. Or rather, the acolyte to a full-on Inquisitor. Essentially, I suppose, like what Heinrichs is. Though he, too, at this point, I think, is seeing that his own boss definitely doesn't have the greater interests of the Expanse in mind. I am curious to see what they do with that game. Alright, let's wrap this up. I think we can call this test a success.
Follow my lead.
We did take a few dings early on, but nothing we couldn't recover from.
Indeed.
And it did give us some interesting food for thought as to how we can improve both Heinrich's and Pascal's situation. Which I suppose does mean I should start thinking about a respec on Pask, which I'll probably keep mostly the same, just like drop one thing so he can also grab power armor proficiency. It will be a shame to lose the aesthetic of that smuggler armor, though. That looks pretty great on him. Alt on tap.
Activate Calculate Fury algorithm. The Omniscient knows all, comprehends all.
Yeah. Oh, hello. I'm pretty sure you weren't hostile when this fight started, nor were you. Or you. Interesting. We seem to have a two-stage fight. Very sneaky. Alright, noted. We'll get someone on that. Kind of curious to see what they do, though. Just cast spells at us, I guess.
Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet.
Let's go ahead and bink bonk this closer one. See what happens.
You should have thought twice before crossing me.
Pretty tanky. Better, better. Pull.
Me? If you...
Oh, come on, really? Dude's literally got 1 hit point left. Alright, let's kick this off. And now the cog.
Become the All-Father's worthy instrument!
Wow, okay, so really padding this one out. Fair enough. Pink horrors aren't that big a deal at this point.
So it shall be.
First one split. Okay. Ulfark didn't feel like charging. I guess I can respect that. I think the actual problem is that I clicked on a spot that he physically could not fit. So that was my bad. Heinrichs. Alright, let's get you in there, bud. We'll keep you on the demon since that's what you do best. And then Pass can handle the servitor.
But of course, Lord Captain. Let's see to it.
Yeah, just get in there. Nice. Val, let's keep trimming.
It's as good as done. I'll see to it personally. Another enemy down.
Nice, nice.
I'll make it happen.
And hold. Lovely.
Grey hair, sure hand.
And leave the rest for Pask. After that, they both double team the next cog.
It will be done.
Speaking of which, yeah, they're just tossing basic psyker powers at us. Finish off the Servitor. Plasma ought to do it, but we'll hedge our bets. Target out. Which just leaves the cogs and their demonic malware. I always knew Mailer Demon would eventually turn on us. Just lurking there in the digital darkness. Growing fat on undelivered emails.
Emperor, deliver us!
Naturally.
Suppressing fire.
Cogs play.
And first cog clear. Let's start working on the next. Oh yeah, guess I could have just done this. Firewall. And boot drive. Just for kicks. Oh, well, that didn't work out. Heinrichs, you want to help us out? I hear you're a fair hand at hacking. Ooh, close. Voracious pink horror. Methinks we just found our encounter boss. Oh, wow. Well, that didn't last long. Just keep on trimming.
I'll see to it personally.
Second cog clear, which just leaves number 3. Abby engaged. Pask moving in.
My vow is to serve.
Ow! Right, gotta remember that overheat mechanic.
Integrity factor increased.
Cass is too far to really do much of anything. We'll just start moving her in. Wolfar.
Wolves reign!
Mind the friendly fire.
So it shall be. Feel the icy bite of death!
Final batch in play. Fire in the hole. Thank you, Wolfar. And Heinrichs.
Let's see to it.
Nice. Also nice.
On it. Who if not me?
Oh, shoot. Right. Okay. Out of ammo. Gotcha. Rare to have a fight last long enough for that to actually happen. But we're just about done. The cogitators just really padded things out. And we're good. Took a few binks and bonks, but nothing too bad. Mostly in round 1. I mean, the only actual injury we've got now is just Pask, who kind of did it to himself. But yeah, aside from that, it was just Val from the round 1 volatile. And then Heinrichs before he got his buffs in place. Which again, I do think shows that our builds are still at least viable, if not necessarily optimal. Though we did also see potential room for improvement without needing necessarily full respecs. Well, I mean, aside from Pask, I suppose Pask would at least need a partial if we want to get him in that power armor. Also, I'll probably pull the blade wings off Heinrichs. I did notice that, despite it saying that it didn't count as an attack, it does share the same cooldown as charge. And generally speaking, I'd rather just charge. The machine is functional, but heavily altered. You see redundant parts and crudely welded modules. Stinking oil oozes from the cracks, and the dashboard is covered with symbols of chaos. There is no doubt that all these manipulations were intended to change the purpose of this device. I mean, yeah, I'm going to say we could have probably guessed that from everything else going on in this room, but, you know, good to have it confirmed, I suppose. Fine work gloves. Plus 25 demo, plus 25 tech use. Oh man, that... I might actually have a use for that. If we're going to be respecking Pask anyway. Wouldn't hurt to have a secondary demo on hand, you know, just for those situations where Ulfar might struggle with pathfinding. Could switch Val off to the librarian glasses full-time.
Thank Russ for my sharp senses.
Oh, nice. Terrorax Slayer. High-end solid sniper. Rifle's Deadeye shot costs 1 extra AP, but deals triple damage against large targets. I don't know. Situationally useful, but also not something that would be useful in the majority of the fights we find ourselves in. Like this one we just had, for example. Ooh, fuel. Nice. More Drusian rep. Oh, that's something I have to check, too. The new 1.5 patch is supposed to have added a bunch of new trade items. So we'll have a batch waiting for us when we get back. The dirty, disheveled woman pays you no heed, lowering her head and looking at the ground with genuine interest, at something that either does not exist, or is invisible to your eyes. Even at this distance, you can detect the distinct smell of ozone, too fresh for this stuffy room, reeking of soot and industrial lubricant. The woman raises a maimed hand and absent-mindedly runs its 2 remaining fingers through her matted hair. She is a psyker. I can feel warp emanations roiling around her. One of the cultist's prisoners. How did she manage to get out of the cage and survive? Be vigilant. Creatures like her remain dangerous, even when they mean to do no harm. Yeah, fair, but that doesn't mean we can't at least try. Hey, don't be alarmed. We're here to help. Can you understand me? The woman jerks her head and transfixes you with a delirious gaze. Only now do you notice a reddish-black mark on her cheek. A many-pointed star, a symbol of chaos. The prisoner bares her teeth, but you cannot tell whether she does so as a threat, or simply out of fear. It's fine. See, I'm lowering my gun. Tell me, what's your name? Do you know where you are? Oh, man, come on. The woman shoots you a crazed, inhuman look, and suddenly backs away with an agonizing groan, clutching at her face. Oh well. With an unnatural roar, the psyker rears up. Her features are drooping, melting like candle wax. Her swollen lips part, revealing sharp teeth, and her bright orange pupils expand to fill her eyes completely. The psyker slumps to the ground, and the smell of ozone gives way to a disgusting, sulfurous stench. Well, that's a bummer, but to be fair, it does seem like she was probably pretty far gone either way. Hard to imagine we would have gotten more than a few sentences out of her before she had a total meltdown regardless. But we might have learned something useful, so still, a shame. Also, could have potentially eased her passing, I suppose.
I always keep my options open.
Oh, and another area transition. And a whole mess of traps. See, like this... Okay, so that goes back to the tech sanctum, gotcha. Yeah, see, like this would be an ideal situation for us to have Pask trained as our secondary demo guy, with Val taking over on all the lore skills. Val would have 180, which is behind Pask, as he currently stands. But Val also gets a free reroll on every failed check, courtesy of the data loom. Okay. Main generator sanctuary complete. Which I suppose does bring us to a good place to call it. This should spit us back out at the other entrance to the generator area. Off to the right of the lift. Yes. Which means at this point it's just Urlan the Cruel we have left. And, we're probably better off blindsiding him from the prayer hall. But I will consider that between episodes. Also, fairly certain he's not going to die this early in the endgame. Rather, I fully suspect that this will instead spell the final swan song for Conrad, our would-be rival, whom we've actually barely seen at all throughout the campaign, so it does feel narratively appropriate for him to die before we're even into the final act. Dude seems to think he's a main character when he's just a glorified bit part player at best, and not even a competent one at that. That said, we'll hit the pause button for now. I'll take care of some last-minute prep. Do a quick respec on Pask, perhaps. And we will pick up here next time, as we see what cruel fate awaits. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Erie V23, Revenant, Alois, Bowman, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
Thank Russ for my sharp senses.